The launch of the election headquarters was simultaneous as the Leisure Kuku Krowo Municipal Assembly, LECMA, and the Accra Metropolitan Assembly, the AMA. The media giant, since 2008, has been at the forefront of providing comprehensive coverage of elections held in the country, particularly the presidential and parliamentary elections. Our media platforms, JoyNews, Joy FM, Adum TV, Adum FM, Asempa FM, myjoyonline.com, adumonline.com, as well as social media and digital platforms, have since been the go-to destination for comprehensive analysis of activities of the key political parties contesting the elections. The new election headquarters has a number of interesting activities, such as the tracker, verdict, bell, among others, which will be the central focus of discussions in the lead-up to the crucial presidential and parliamentary polls scheduled for December 7th, 2020. Here is a summary of what to expect.
So, as Daniel had said, this year our theme is building an informed electorate. And so you find that every program that we have developed, some of the programs are very loyal audiences who follow us in election years. When we transform into the election headquarters, you already know what they are. But every program is designed to deliver on that particular promise of building an informed electorate. One of the new ones you're going to do, and because both of you are doing the morning show, you know this, we call it the tracker. Now, the tracker is a very interesting one. What we found over the years is each time a government is elected and they go into government, you start putting to them the promises they've made to you when they were campaigning for your vote. And then they start making adjustments to the actual text of the promise they make to you. So I give an example with this particular government. In fact, the day that it struck me so hard that the best way to serve our audience this year is to bring that sort of program in was when I did an interview with Antonia Kutose, who is the Minister for
Monitoring and Evaluation.
Remember that interview? So I asked him the question about one district, one factory. And he says, listen, we never said that we'll do it ourselves. We said that private sector will do it. In other words, if the private sector doesn't do it, and there's a partnership, then you don't expect us to fulfill that particular promise in whole. And so, yeah, I mean, in essence, he actually said in that interview that we did not interrogate them enough to get the specifics. I don't even remember that interview.
I remember very well. That was on PM Express.
Yes, yeah, we didn't interrogate them enough to get the specifics. And I'm like, but you owed us a duty to break it down. And I said to him that it was deliberate to sort of hide the exact wording so that when down the line you can't do it, when we ask you, say, yeah, but, you know.
Exactly.
So I checked the exact wording in the manifesto. And indeed, it said it's in partnership with the private sector. But I recall, on many political platforms, beyond what they said in the text, a lot of their folks who are campaigning have said, we will do it. In fact, the president has said it too on platforms, that by the end of my first term, I will have one district, one factory. One district, one factory means every district,
will have
by the time you finish your first term, will have a factory.
We even went into details of describing what kind of factory, what a factory is.
You remember that?
Cottage industry.
You remember that? Now,
so much
3 years on, we asked the question. He says, but that's not exactly what we said. But when you go to, he refers to the text is exactly that. But they've said that on a platform. So we say, this time, we're not going to hold you only to the text of your manifestos. Okay. We're also going to hold you to what you say on political platforms.
That's right.
Because that's where they run to. They use the text, they refer to the text, but meanwhile, on the platform where the people, the vast majority of people who are going to vote will be listening and not reading the text. So they buy into what has been said and not what necessarily has been written. So we say this year, with a tracker, which is mainly sitting on the morning show, we're going to track every promise you make, not only what you write down in the manifesto. I'll give you a classic example. John Mahama says, when I come back, I will scrap the double track. The day he said that yesterday, the next morning, Tracker is live on the morning show saying, okay, you said that. Well, is that feasible? We're going to bring the experts in. We're going to interrogate that. By the end of that conversation, remember we say building an informed electorate. We will leave the electorate who is listening at a place to make a decision whether that promise John Mahama has made, one, is feasible. Is he taking us for granted? Is he just throwing promises at us because he wants to win the election?
Right.
So
where will the money come from?
Where will the money come from?
doubt their ability to fulfill the promises?
Yeah, I do. Sometimes we just put our trust and place our trust and hopes on them, but some of them just don't fulfill their promises when they come to power.
All right, so Daniel, you can hear from some of our audience saying that, well, they actually believe the things that the politicians tell them when they hear these promises. There's always the belief that it is going to lead to a transformation of the economy.
Thank you very much, Winston. And it's very important that we hear this, Evans. It reinforces the need for the tracker as a segment because the electorate takes these promises very seriously, Evans.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's one of the new things we're doing this year. The second thing we're doing that is new this year, we haven't done before, is this very controversial one called the verdict. Very controversial. Kojo is nodding because he's going to be one of the partners in crime in executing a particular show. This is a show, this is an in-house show. This is where journalists, among ourselves, come on a platform and look at all the campaign-related issues. This is not about the promises. This is anything. Like, for example, today we've seen in the papers an internal plot against GM, whatever it is. We will analyze it. We'll pronounce a verdict on it in the end.
But you know, we've also been joined. Let's acknowledge the fact that we've been joined by Mr. Ibrahim Tanko, who is the Star Ghana Foundation, and I want to talk about the ballot box because you've been associated with the ballot box back in 2016. We thank you for that support, but you're back with us. Can you tell us why?
Well, they say that a good thing sells itself. Multimedia has stood out over the years in terms of the quality of its coverage of the elections, but also the provision of opportunities for people who have otherwise been excluded from the dialogue to have a say, to participate actively, you know, in the conversations leading up to the elections. And so we didn't have any reservations at all when the issue came up as to whether we're going to continue with their support.
And those were some excerpts from our election headquarters launch this morning. And of course, you can expect so much more coming up in the next few months. Coming up next is JoyNews Interactive with Na Ajele Doku. If you'd like some more news, please go to myjoyonline.com. Everything you need to know, you can find there. My name is Inimwa Inimado. I hope you have an awesome day.